Hey you guys, hey everyone, welcome to my channel. So today is Saturday, the 23rd of July, and usually on Saturdays I don't work because I try to take the weekends off to hang out with the kids. Um, our kids usually have football every Saturday from like 8 to 10, so I'm usually bumming it on Saturdays. Forgive me, kind of bumming it today, but I wanted to go over this police report or this call log, and one of the police reports from one of the incidents because Justin from Justice for All YouTube channel, he got this call log from by doing a FOIA request, Freedom of Information Act, and he went over it yesterday on his channel, and I was there with him. The only thing is I was pretty tired yesterday. I think me and Molly both were just kind of, so I had things to say, but I didn't really say as much as I wanted to say just because I was so tired. So after we got off the stream, I asked Justin if he could send me the report. That way, maybe I could go over some things over my channel, and he was so gracious enough to do so because he really didn't have to. He could have told me, "Girl, go get your own," but he didn't, and he was okay with me going over it on my channel as well. The only thing is, I'm not going to show the report because there is some information on there, the person, like people's real names and phone numbers that I haven't redacted. So I'm not going to show the report, but I'm going to read it because I think it's important, and I think I've only been live for a minute and 37 seconds. So you're good. So I'm going to go over this report, and then I'm going to share some things that I would like to share with you guys over like kind of the issues going on lately within the community over this story. I'm just so by it. But anyways, through this call log, I don't know. I feel like, and this is just my opinion, everything that I say on this channel is my opinion unless it's backed up by some sort of report. Like what we do know is that there was 25 calls made. Were they all made by Dre? No, but there were 25 calls made. So most of what I'm going to say is my opinion alone. Do not go bully, harass, or attack anyone that I talk about in this video. That is not the purpose of this video, but I will be sharing my thoughts and feelings from what I take away from this call log because there was 25 calls. And through some of these calls, I really feel like Dre was setting the stage for what would happen later. That way, if anything ever happened, if she decided to leave Vaughn or if Vaughn left her, he would be portrayed a certain way and she would be the innocent one. I'm not saying that Dre, did this to Vaughn. I don't know. I don't have enough information to know what happened that day. I have theories. I've heard theories, some that make sense, some that maybe don't make so much sense. What I can tell you is the police report from that day, there's so much lacking in that police report. I feel like if the police would have investigated the scene and the situation, we would have more answers and things would make a lot more sense. But they don't because there was no investigation. There's officers that were there that don't even know how he got down, how Vaughn got down. So I can't tell you guys what happened that day. I have my thoughts and feelings and theories. But I just don't know. And I'm not saying that Dre knew that it would ever come to the point to where Vaughn would attempt this. But I do think that Dre had an idea that one day it may come to the point to where Vaughn wanted to leave. And if he did leave, she could say that he was abusive. That's what I think from reading this report, from things that she's said on those audios. Like, we're scared of him. We don't know what he's going to do. Where it appears like she broke a door, but then she tells everyone that he broke a door. So I'm not saying she's setting the stage for what happened. I'm just saying that way if Vaughn would have ever left, she could have turned around and said, well, he was abusive to me. We do know that she has an ex-husband. We do know that she's accused other people of being abusive, of sexually harassing her. So it does seem like she's always the victim in everything. Anytime she has a fallout with someone, family, friends, doctors, they were in the wrong and they did her wrong somehow. And she's the victim. So that's what I mean here when I say I feel like she was setting the stage, that if he was to leave, it would have been like, well, he was abusive to me or something along those lines. So we're going to go over this. This is an incident analysis report, and it's from January 1st, 2013 to 7/21/2022. So this month, the 21st of this month. Thank you so much, Heidi. Thank you so much for the super sticker. It's very suspicious, yes. Definitely feel like she's very calculated. Okay, so I'm going to read each date, what the incident type, the officer that responded, if it tells us, and who the caller was. Now, keep in mind, you guys, that they have not always lived in Arizona. They've also lived in California. So we don't have a report from California. It's possible that if somebody requested that report, that they could go back and find that she even done this in California, that she called the police when they were in California. We don't know that. Does anybody know what year they moved to Arizona? Does anybody know that? Because I don't know, but that would be very interesting to find out. Yeah, in the recordings that she made, we hear her gaslighting him. He couldn't really speak how he felt. Well, I'm not saying that there is no accountability for Vaughn. I think Vaughn did things that he shouldn't have done. As an adult, he did things that he shouldn't have done, but he's also laying in the hospital on life support in a coma right now. And when you go back and watch all the live streams that Dre put up, she literally gaslit him. She was extremely controlling. He couldn't have access to their money. He got a settlement, from what I hear, was a big chunk of change. And he couldn't ask for money to get a hotel room when they were fighting. He was forced to either, he was having seizures, so he couldn't drive. So he was either forced to stay in a house where they were arguing and there was contention, or he had to, nothing. There was nothing else he could do. He couldn't call an Uber because he couldn't pay for one. There was every bit of control. What doctors he's seen, she controlled that. His family, she controlled that. She wouldn't even let his family come to the house because they were vaccinated. And if you're vaccinated, the toxins from the vaccination can get over into your body and harm you, you know? If this was a woman on life support and the man treated the woman the way Dre treated Vaughn, everybody would be in an uproar, I feel like. Absolutely. I feel like if a man had controlled a woman to the extent that Dre controlled Vaughn, I'm not saying Vaughn is innocent. I'm not saying that at all. You know, he took kratom. I feel like he trusted her with the things that she told him. You know what I'm saying? But either way, that's true. It says nothing about anyone being arrested. It says nothing about them contacting CPS, where I feel like they should have. Thank you. Yes. Devon not open his eyes and is off the vent. So when Miss Letitia called the other day, when Marissa was live, Molly Go Lightly was live, and Letitia called when she visited, and she said he's not on the vent. He's got supplemental oxygen going in through his trach, I think she said. And she said he did open his eyes just a little bit, where you could kind of see the white part. And that when she walked in the room, she said, "Mama's here," and that his heart rate jumped up. And when she kissed his arm, his mouth moved almost like to pull a smile, you know? The deed on their home was recorded on 12/21. Dre's life is a big lie, yeah. Right. Kratom is not the demon that people think it is. I've done a little bit of research on Kratom, and I know people that have taken Kratom. I mean, it says online, like, it's safe for adults, but you have to use it, like, in moderation. You have to, you can't just sit there and take spoonful, which is what she was doing, and she was also giving it to their children, which you're not supposed to give it to children. So, yeah, I don't want to turn this into, and I feel like people do misunderstand what me and maybe Molly and Justin say when we talk about the fact that they were on a vegan alkaline diet, taking kratom and all these things. We're not making those things out to be the bad things, because kratom can be. A lot of people have messaged me saying I take kratom and it's worked wonders for me. Like, I deal with chronic pain and it's helped me out with that, where I don't have to take pain pills. I've also had people message me saying, hey, I've done the alkaline diet and it worked fine for me. I'm vegan and it's great. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not bashing any of those things. I think it was a combination of her overdoing it. It wasn't just, hey, let's do the alkaline diet for 2 weeks, blah, 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 blah. It was, you're not supposed to do the alkaline diet for more than 2 weeks, from my understanding. She took things to the extreme and it put them in harm's way. It put them in danger by the way, yeah, everything in moderation, but Dre was extreme. So let's go ahead. Okay, so this is an incident analysis report. So on March 2nd, 2016, Dre McCray called the police due to, and she reported a burglary. Also, I'll announce the officer's name if it's listed, but this one's not listed. I don't know which way my nose ring is. What time is 22:52? You guys, because I want to say the hours too, but I don't know how to do the hours. Brummy, thank you. Elle Bee, you're such a lovely soul. It reflects through all the way. Oh, thank you. Keep it up, sweetie. I'm privileged to be part of this community. Yourself, Justin, Molly, KJ. I'm disgusted for being both. Thank you so much. Thank you. Right. I'm a realist, and there is severe and unrealistic shortage of payments for people who truly need them. I agree to that. I agree to that. You know, my grandpa um, is old, and he has a bad back. He has a lot of things wrong with him. And he was on pain medication, and then all of a sudden they just ripped it all away from him. And he's in terrible shape now. Um, and there's people that need it that can't get it for certain reasons, you know, because the people that abuse it. Okay, so 2,200 hours is 10:52. Okay, so at 10:52 at night, she called the police to report a burglary. Whatever, that's fine. You know, I've done that myself. Not a burglary, but suspicious person. So mark that one off our list of setting the stage, in my opinion. Okay, the same day at 23:53, which is an hour later, almost exactly, she calls the police again and reports suspicious incident. That's probably going to go along with the burglary, but did the cops not show up for that one? That's kind of weird. A whole hour later, she's calling the cops again. Maybe they showed up and left, and she's calling them back. I don't know. 11/29, 2016, at 1:50. I know that one. At 1:50 in the evening, the neighbor called the police to report animal city ordinance violation, something to do with the dogs. So, from my understanding, the neighbor called and reported their dogs, from what I take from that. The next day, the very next day, at 8:48 in the morning, Herb, the neighbor, called again over the dogs. On January 4th, 2017, at 23:48, which is 11:48, I think, Dre McCray called the police again to report a disturbance or noise. The officer that responded to that was an Officer McCleany. January 5th, 2017, the next day, the very next day, at 2014, which would be 8, is that 8:14? The neighbor called again for disturbance. It seems like Andre and the neighbor call the cops on each other a good bit. On 5/14/2017, at 15:23, Dre McCray calls the cops again for interference in judicial proceedings. I'm kind of stumped on what that would mean. Is Justin in the chat? Hey, Justin. Yeah, definitely when she got the feeling that he could leave, I definitely think she wanted to portray him in a certain light, to make him look a certain way, so she could be the victim if he left. Okay, so 6/30, 2017, at 1:22 in the evening, Andre McCray called the police again, and it says 911 unknown. So I guess they don't have any information on that, on why she called. There was one officer dispatched on 6/30/2017. Andre McCray calls the police again at 18:29. Civil standby. Not sure what a civil standby is. 8/27/2019. Okay, so here's a jump. So from mid 2017 to mid 2019, there were no calls. Mid 2017 to mid 2019, no calls. And then all of a sudden she starts calling again. 8/27/2019 at 16:03, Andre McCray calls for a sex offense. Now, from my understanding, what I was reading in Justice Chat last night, this is when she may have reported the chiropractor. The next month, almost exactly a month, 9/26/2019, at 2:08 in the morning, she contacts the police. Dre McCray contacts the police for disorderly conduct. A few days later, well, this is about a week and a half later, 10/3/2019, at 21:19, Andre McCray called the police for disorderly conduct. Again. Now she goes almost 6 months. Wait. She goes 8 months and no calls. Then she starts again. May 15th, 2020, at 9:36 in the morning, she contacts the police again for disorderly conduct. This is 3 disorderly conducts in a row in a matter of a few months. Then, like a week or so later, May 27th, 2020, at 16:09, Andre McCray called the police for an overdose. This is 2020. May 27, 2020, she calls the police for an overdose. Does anybody have any information on that overdose? Was that her or was that Vaughn? Seems like I was told about this, but I don't remember. On 9/1/2020 at 21:55, Andre McCray called the police again for harassment. On January 1st, 2021, at 12:09 in the morning, Andre McCray calls the police for fireworks. I don't know. This is like Karen-like behavior to me. Like, it's New Year's. Of course, people's going to be popping fireworks. And everybody pops fireworks at midnight. You know what I'm saying? You ring in the new year, midnight, yay! Okay, Vaughn was having a narcotic overdose. Okay. It was Vaughn, according to her. According to her. Was he ever put in the hospital for that one, though? March 1st, 2021, at 12:29 in the morning, Andre McCray calls the police for harassment. That's a weird time to call for harassment. Like, was somebody at your house harassing you right then? Or were you out somewhere where someone was harassing you, like, right then? Or did you just decide to call that early? The same day, March 1st, 2021, at 9 in the morning, it doesn't say who called, but it says security check. But there's no, it doesn't say who called, just a security check. Then 8/2/2021, at 12:11 in the morning, Cassandra Jones calls for public assistance welfare check. Cassandra Jones. I'm not sure who that is. The same day, At 1:22 in the evening, Dre McCray calls for a public assistance welfare check. Then, on May 23rd, 2022, at 8:28 in the morning, Dre McCray calls for an attempted suicide. Now, it says responding officer was just one officer that time. I don't know. It's really weird because it says the responding officers was just Officer Hulda. But then on the follow-up, the next day, no, that's not the next day, the next month, a follow-up a month later, it has all the guys that wrote the reports. I'm kind of confused by that. So on the day that happened, 5:23:22, 8:28 in the morning, she calls for a suicide attempt. It lists one person coming. Vaughn didn't have an actual overdose. The report says she called and said he's having symptoms of an overdose. Thank you, Penelope. Thank you so much. Y'all need to look into that name, Cassandra Jones. I am wondering who that is. Would that be like one of her followers? Because maybe, yeah, I don't want to speculate, but yeah, I'm going to try to figure out who that is. So a month later, almost. So this happened on May 23rd. On June 22nd at 8:12 in the morning, Dre McCray calls, and it says follow-up. And it lists 1, 2, 3 officers, and all of these officers filled out a report from the day of the attempted suicide. Now, 7/6/2022, there's a phone call placed by Dre McCray for threatening or intimidating. And I think that's when she called on, Molly. It was either that day or a few days later. So she called for threatening or intimidating on 7/6/2022. Then on 7/10/2022, Dre McCray calls the police again for harassment. Now, the officer that went to her house for the threatening or intimidating is one of the same officers that went to her house for the attempted suicide. Let me see if he's been there any other time. No. He was there for the attempted suicide, and then he was there for the harassment, the threatening or intimidating. So 7/10/2022, harassment, Dre McCray. 7/11, Evan Ray called for a follow-up. So 25 calls, and let's count how many was Dre. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 calls were Dre McCray. A couple was her neighbor. Seems like they have somewhat of a contentious relationship. Seems like maybe they don't get along that well because he called the cops on them a lot for dogs. And then the other ones, I'm not sure. Evan Ray, Cassandra Jones, I'm not sure who that is. But I want to read something else really quickly. We're going to go over the detailed report from 5/15. Okay, so 5/15, we're going to go over a detailed report. 5:15, let's see, hold on. 5/15/2020. Okay, so 5/15/2020 was when Dre McCray called for disorderly conduct. And there were 2 officers dispatched to her house. So I'm going to read that report. Would be good to talk to the neighbor. Yeah. If the neighbor wants to speak out, That's a good question. Why did she call on the attempted SFP months prior? I mean, it seems like she called for everything else. She called for anything else. She would call in the middle of the night for harassment. Was the harassment going on right then, or did she just decide to call right then? Most of the time, I don't know. I feel like most of the time, if someone has SA'd you and you are going to go to the police, you probably go to the police station. Or you call either right when it's happening, which makes me wonder, was it happening right then, which would have been like midnight? So did somebody do it in her home? Was she out and about and it happened? But from my understanding, this was in reference to her chiropractor. So what made her decide to call and report her chiropractor at midnight? Why not the next morning get up and go to the police station? Or the next morning call? They had two trucks. Yeah, I asked that myself. Like, whose vehicles were they? We need to find out about the vehicles because it said there was two trucks and a sedan. So we did find out. All of that was their vehicles. So Vaughn, he had a truck, and then they got a new truck that she showed off on her channel, and then she had a car. So all of those were their vehicles. Yeah, LTF Alicia. I'm not shocked, honestly. When you know her, as long as I've known her, nothing shocks you anymore, unfortunately. So we're gonna go over that report from the disorderly conduct because it seems like her and Vaughn had gotten into some sort of disagreement. But the main thing is when the cop arrives, I feel like she didn't tell the cop exactly what happened. She left it open-ended so the cop could assume that Vaughn was abusive to her. So let's get into this. Okay, so it says DV disturbance, incident type DV disturbance, occurred from 5/14/2020, 1900 hours, occurred through 5/14. I guess that's when, that was on 5/20. I don't know what those dates are in reference to. Okay, let's just go ahead and read it. So, this is one of the officers' narrative synopsis on 5/14/2020 between 1900 and 2200 hours at blank address. Dre McCray had husband's cell phone, Vaughn. As she was scrolling through his text messages, Vaughn took his cell phone from Dre, and she said after that incident, her left foot broke. After that incident, after she took Vaughn's phone, was scrolling through it, he saw it, got it back, her foot was broke. What the what? Dre is on Dre McCray. That everybody calls her Dre. Dre McCray advised that her foot had been broken before, but she was not sure how it broke after Marvon McCray took his cell phone out of her hands. Dre McCray said Vaughn McCray did not push her, but she wasn't sure how her foot broke. This report taken for informational purposes only. Evidence collected, a CD with audio recordings, domestic relationship. Andre McCray and Vaughn McCray are currently married and have children in common. Digital media, photographs taken at scene and later uploaded to YDP DMs. Injuries to Andre McCray. Andre McCray has a broken left foot and a large purple bruise on the back of her left arm. Additional personnel, Yuma Police Sergeant Daniels. Narrative. This is Daniel's narrative, I guess. No, I think this is the same one. Okay. On 5/15/2020 at 9:36, I was dispatched to Yuma Regional Medical Center located at blank, 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 blank in reference to a DV disturbance that had occurred on 5/14/2020. Dispatch advised the female's identity as Dre McCray had spoken with a nurse in reference to a domestic disturbance that had occurred at her residence. At 10:20, I arrived at Yuma Regional Medical Center and contacted a Yuma Regional Medical Center nurse. And she advised me that Dre McCray had a fracture on her foot and was skeptical about sharing information about. She advised me that Dre McCray had a fracture on her foot and was skeptical about sharing the information about the domestic disturbance that occurred on 5/14/2020. Why was she so skeptical? He didn't break it. And my thing is I broke my pinky toe when I was like 12. And I remember how I broke my pinky toe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if you break a bone, Justin said this last night, like, you're not going to break a bone and not know unless you're drunk or something. You know, because he said you're not going to break a bone and not know. And then someone in the chat said, well, I actually broke a bone and didn't remember, but that was because I was drunk. And I'm like, yeah, that's a good point. Most people know how they broke something, But if they don't know how they broke it, it's because they were so under the influence of something that they didn't remember. Yeah, trust me, if you break a bone, you're definitely going to know how you broke it, especially something walking around like your foot. Exactly. She purposely did not tell what happened, in my opinion, because she wanted people to believe that he did it. She wanted the cops to believe that he did it. Oh, thank you, Crystal Ann. Do I need to slow the chat down, mods? Um. Oh, I know. I know it. Okay. All right, let's continue. At 10:21, I contacted Andre McCray in the emergency room. I asked Dre McCray how she was doing. She said she was in pain because she had a broken foot. Dre McCray said her left foot was broken. I asked Andre what happened. Dre stated on 5/14/2020 between 1,900 hours and 2,200 hours, she was at her residence, which was located blah, 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 blah. She was there with her husband, who identifies as Marvin McCray. Dre McCray stated Von McCray was having a mental breakdown, and she wanted to know who he had been talking to because she was concerned for him. Dre McCray stated Von McCray left his phone, and Von McCray went into the bathroom. Dre McCray said she picked up Von McCray's phone and proceeded to see the messages of who he had been talking to. Dre McCray said Von McCray saw her with his cell phone, and Von proceeded to take the phone out of her hands as she was holding onto his cell phone. Dre McCray showed me the large bruise on the back of her arm. I asked her how she got the large bruise on the back of her left arm. Dre McCray said she believed the way she got the bruise is as he was trying to grab her phone, she turned her body away from him, and he may have hit her arm. No, let me go back to that. Let me go back because I think I read that wrong. Dre McCray said the way she believes she got the bruise is as he was trying to grab her phone. She turned away from him and may have hit her left arm. Okay, so I don't know if she's saying she may have hit it on something or he may have hit it. At first, I thought she was saying he may have hit it, but now I think she's saying when she turned away from him, she may have hit it on something. Dre McCray was not sure how the bruise was on her left arm. I asked her how she may have broken her foot. Dre McCray said she had broken her foot in the past and was not sure how her left foot broke. I asked her numerous times if she could explain to me how her left foot broke. Dre McCray kept saying, I don't know. I asked Dre McCray if when Marvin McCray pulled the phone out of her hands, if he moved forward or backward or any direction. Dre McCray kept saying she didn't know how her left foot was broken. Dre McCray then asked why I kept asking her about her foot and why it was broken. I told Andre McCray I needed to know how her left foot was broken. Andre McCray said Marvin McCray is not a violent person. So she says he's not a violent person. I am accident prone, yeah. She says he's not a violent person, but she left it open-ended. She knows why this cop is asking her about her foot. It's broken. If you call the police and go to the hospital over a DV situation and you got something broke on you, I'm surprised they didn't straight up ask her, did he break your foot? You can tell us. If he broke your foot, we need to know. Why didn't they straight up ask her? A lot of people have said they think she broke her foot when she kicked the closet. And yeah. Andre McCray said she was wrong for not giving Marvin his phone back when he was asking for it. Agreed. Andre McCray says she just wants to get help from Marvin because he has possibly blank because he was in the military before. That's redacted. He has probably says because he has possibly PTSD because he was in the military. That's just my speculation of what she probably told the cops. Andre McCray told Marvin McCray is also sick, and so she was trying to get him help. Andre McCray believes that Marvin McCray's chiropractor may have put a curse on Marvin McCray, and maybe that's why he has been having blank. She told the cop that she thought the chiropractor put a curse on Vaughn, and that's why he was blank. What's blank? Justin, I would invite you up, but I don't know how to add you. I don't know. I've literally got to figure out how to add people on StreamYard. Having you on or Streamlab. Wait, what is this? Yeah, I don't know how to add somebody on Streamlab, or I would definitely ask Justin to come up with me. But I don't know how. I gotta figure it out. I've had my husband committed several times for trying to himself since he came home in 2018 from from what I've seen, yeah. Probably having seizures, yeah. I asked Andre McCray again if she could tell me how her foot was broken. Again, she could not provide me a way that her foot was broken and was not sure on how the bruise on her left arm occurred. I proceeded to take digital pictures of her left foot, which had a large purple bruise, and also the back of her left arm. Andre McCray said she was going to be released from the hospital and was not scared of Marvin McCray. She just wants to get him mental health. I advised Andre McCray I will be going to blank 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 to speak to Marvin McCray. So basically his house. He said I told Andre that I was going to go to her house to talk to Vaughn. At 11:25, yeah, that would be in the morning, I went to their address and talked to Marvin McCray. Marvin McCray was already waiting outside for me. I proceeded to talk to Vaughn. At 11:27 hours, I read Marvin McCray his Miranda rights. Marvin McCray said he understood his rights and agreed to talk to me. I asked Marvin McCray what happened on 5/14/2020 between 1900 and 2200 hours. Marvin McCray said he was cleaning outside with the dog and he had left his phone inside the residence. Vaughn stated when he returned back to his bedroom, he saw Andre McCray with his phone scrolling through the messages. Marvin McCray said he had been reconnecting with an old friend who was giving him guidance, and he was helping out, and Andre McCray decided to check the messages they were communicating between each other. Marvin McCray said it was a male subject who he was confiding information in reference to how he was feeling and how he felt he was the only one who he trusted to speak with about how he was doing. That probably ticked her off. It wasn't like he was talking to a female, you know what I'm saying? Um, he was just talking to a guy, probably someone that he was in the military with, more than likely. I can't do StreamYard. StreamYard is not good on my channel. It's super blurry. Like it's so pixelated. I even bought the professional package for StreamYard and it's just so blurry I can't do it. Hey. Um uh, Marvin McCray stated as Dre was in his cell phone, she was accusing him of connecting up with people and also giving information about how she and Marvin McCray were doing. Marvin McCray said he asked Dre McCray to give his phone back. Von McCray said the kids were in the bedroom at this time with Dre, and she asked the kids to walk out of the room so she and Vaughn could speak about their problems. Marvin McCray said he was begging Dre McCray to give his phone back. Von McCray said he even told Dre McCray that he would get on his knees and beg for his phone back so he could avoid any issues. This man literally said, I will get on my knees to avoid any issues with you. Like, please don't do this. Just give him my phone back. It's not a big deal. It's not like I was talking to a female. It's just a guy friend, and I was just confiding in him. Marvin McCray said Dre McCray said no, that she was not going to give him his phone back because he was texting all these different people. Von McCray said finally Dre McCray gets the kids out of the room. Von McCray said he kept on asking Dre for the phone, but she would not give it to him, so he decided to take the phone. He said he did grab Dre from behind and grabbed the cell phone. Marvin McCray said he pulled the cell phone out of her hands. As he pulled the phone, Marvin said he ran into the closet and locked it. Marvin McCray said Dre McCray was yelling obscenities at him as he was inside the closet. Marvin McCray said as he was in the closet, he hears a loud noise as if someone fell on the ground. Von McCray said he hears Dre McCray yelled, "Ow." Marvin McCray said after a little while he ended up getting out of the closet and they didn't have any more problems. Von McCray said Dre McCray never fell to the ground when he took the cell phone from her. Von McCray said he didn't know how Dre McCray broke her left foot or how the bruise happened. Von McCray said he did not push or hurt Dre McCray. I contacted Yuma Police Department Jeremy Daniels and advised him of the information I received from both subjects. At this time, they are conflicting statements between Dre McCray and Von McCray. Dre McCray could not provide information on how her left foot or how the bruise on her arm happened, and there are no witnesses. The digital pictures will be entered into DMs. This report was taken for informational purposes only. So I do, yeah. Can you like a closet from the inside? He might have been holding on to it or stuck something in it so she couldn't open it. Yeah, that's the police report from the time she called the cops on Dre for essentially like DV, basically. So I don't know, like their problems. They really started having problems in 2019. 2019 is when they started having problems, and she knew. I feel like she knew he was pulling away. Oh, Spirit Seeker Squad, we tried. My husband's a computer person, and we changed the resolution. We got the best internet that they offer here. We had a direct connect. It wasn't like where we were just relying on the Wi-Fi. There was a direct connect. We just can't get it. We just can't get through Stream Yard. It just is impossible. We done everything we know to do. We changed the resolution and everything. It just wouldn't work. Dre used to do her makeup in the closet, so she probably has a lock on. Oh, that makes a good, yeah. My closet has a latch on the inside. Yeah, from what I can see of the house, it looks like they have a big closet, like a big walk-in closet. Elena, I will do the recap of Mama June Monday. I'll do that Monday. I'm probably for sure going to take tomorrow off. 2019 is when they stopped alcohol, started K and vegan diet, maybe withdrawing. House of Williams is going off. Who is House of Williams? I don't even know who that is. Is that YouTube? You guys, I don't care what people, I mean, Molly has done everything that she can for this family, Molly and Justin. Nobody can say that she hasn't. It just, I don't know that person. I'm not going to breathe life to that. I'm not going to breathe life into that. It doesn't matter. But I just hate it because, oh, thank you, Dawn. Thank you, Dawn, so much for the super sticker. She's only keeping him alive at this point to avoid criminal investigation, in your opinion, allegedly. Yep. I wonder that myself. Is there a reason? Or is he doing better? We don't know. You know what I'm saying? The mom said that he was off the vent. There were reports of no brain activity. But I get all these messages about people saying my so-and-so was in a coma. They said she had no brain activity. And then today she's fine. So I'm just so confused. I'm just so confused. I'm not on StreamYard. If I'm on Streamlabs, and I don't know how to. When I brought him on the other day, I had to switch over to Stream. I had to do it on StreamYard because Streamlab, I have no idea how to do it. No problem. It's definitely linked to driver update in Windows. Oh, thank you. It is very comfortable. I'm just kind of, lazy today. I'm Texas girl too. When I stopped eating meat, if anyone grabbed my arm, it would make a bruise in the shape of fingerprints, and it could be my little girl grabbing onto me. Oh wow! I love that you give Molly and Justin credit and that all. Oh yeah, thank you. Of course, can't nobody deny without Justin and Molly this. Who would be covering this if Justin and Molly wouldn't have brought this to the forefront? Look, anoxic brain injury. Look up anoxic brain injury. In my opinion, she never told that Dre said it for sympathy. Anoxic brain injury. I'm just wondering. I wish we knew if the parents were getting any information from the doctors when they are there. Are they able to ask the doctors questions like, "Hey, what's the possibility of the outcome here? Is it possible that one day, even if a doctor says, no, this is it, he's going to be in a vegetative state if he makes it, if it was my child, I would hang on to hope. I would just put all my faith in God and hope to God that he would perform a miracle on my child. Yes, Tasha, absolutely. Having low iron makes you bruise easy too. Yeah, he is off the vent. That means there is no brain activity now. If there's no brain activity, he would be on the vent. If you want to reach out to my husband you spoke to before, he may be able to help you with internet suggestions. He said of ours, and we're in a ruralish area. Just an offer. Thank you, Dash. Let's see. Anoxic brain injury. This is from drowning, so I probably don't need to look at that one. All right, hold on. Let me look this one up. Anoxic brain injury is a type of brain injury that isn't usually caused by a blow to the head. Instead, anoxic brain injury occurs when the brain is deprived of oxygen, left without oxygen for too long. Neural cells begin to die through the process called apoptosis. And though cell death is a normal part of the human experience, when a large number of brain cells simultaneously die, patients can be left with diminished brain function. If the oxygen deprivation continues, anoxic brain injury may become fatal. What can cause it? Anything that deprives the brain of oxygen can lead to anoxic brain injury. Some of the most common causes: oxygen deprivation at birth among babies. This is particularly common when a baby becomes trapped in the birth canal. The umbilical cord is wrapped around his or her neck. Traumatic assault or attack, such as being choked unconscious. A stroke, which can deprive the brain of oxygen and blood for several minutes. A transit is TIA, often called mini stroke, which deprives the brain of oxygen for anywhere from a few seconds to several minutes. Choking, swallowing your own vomit, drug overdose, sudden blow to the windpipes. Anaphylactic shock due to allergic reactions. How long can the brain survive without oxygen? Every brain is different, of course, and the extent of oxygen deprivation varies depending on the injury. Some causes of anoxic brain injury only reduce oxygen and blood flow, while others eliminate it entirely. On average, the brain can survive a mere 4 minutes without oxygen. So if you suspect a stroke or other injury that is cutting off oxygen to the brain, you need to act immediately. As easily as 30 seconds in, brain damage can begin, and at 2 minutes, brain damage becomes almost inevitable. Even if you or your loved one feels fine after loss of oxygen to the brain, you need to seek prompt medical treatment to reduce the potential long-term harm. Can they breathe on their own after that? Is anyone else having problems with audio? Sue's reviews, we are expecting a miracle. However, we really haven't heard what the doctor has said. I'm not sure what happened. I use Streamlabs. I used StreamYard for a very long time, but it would not work. It would work, but it would just be super blurry. Every live stream I tried to do was pixelated. People couldn't see. Um, yeah, I'm not sure because Justine always leaves me really nice comments when I'm on a live stream. I usually don't see it until she says bye because there's 1,300 people in here. So I'm not seeing all the comments. Do I need to slow the chat down? But she'll usually come in and say like great content or great video, and then she'll say bye in all caps. So I'm not sure if she's getting upset that I'm not saying hey back or saying thank you for your compliment. But I usually don't see it at all or until she says bye. So I'm not really sure. Dre's a manipulator. She mastered it. She manipulated Vaughn into marrying her after 7 months. I just showed all that in video I released today. She's a pro. Yes, there is a video of her saying she trapped him. There's been cases of people surviving an active brain injury with no oxygen to the brain for up to 27 minutes. Those are rare cases, but it's possible. See, that's what I have people messaging me, like stories about stuff like that. Thank you. It says if you're brain dead, you won't be able to breathe on your own. So what's happening to him? I'm not really sure. It's not very loud, but I have noise in my background. Let me make sure my settings are good. No, please don't sit on chat. I was driving when you were talking about Kay. Let me get to your comment. I recently started taking it on the advice of Andrea. Yes, it helps with pain, but my whole body swelled up. Never again. Yeah, I think it has different reactions. I think people respond differently to it as long as you don't overdo it. Thank you, Dee Dee. Thank you so much, Dee Dee. Yeah, Candy, I'm unsure. I always get confused what the deal is with her because I don't know if she's just like, hey, just letting you know I'm here, and then bye, see you later, girlfriend. Or if it's, hey, I'm here, and because I don't immediately respond, she's like, bye. I don't know. So I don't know. But I don't know. I can't see the chat most of the time. Yeah, she's here a lot. I've never known someone to call the police 25 times. They were probably sick of her calling. Well, the reason that we started assuming that there were more calls is because in the report from the suicide, it said that they assumed the man to be the husband, Marvon, due to previous calls. Penelope, he isn't breathing on his own. He has a trach now. Well, he does, but it did, according to his mom and his stepmom, I think his mom and his stepmom has both said this, is that he is not on oxygen anymore, and the oxygen is not in his trach, but he has supplemental oxygen that they will give him at times. So I don't think the trach is for the oxygen. He does have a trach. "25 times and yet none for his seizures. When I had my first seizure over 20 years ago, and was without oxygen for 5 minutes. And when I came to, I didn't even know what year it was or what 2 plus 2 was. It was so sad. Oh my goodness. Oh, Candy. No, girl. It's fine. I was confused too. I was like, what is going on here? You just never know, you know. You're okay. Um, Why is a trach better than a ventilator? More comfortable than an ETT. Makes it easier to wean a patient off a ventilator if they have a trach. Reduces need for sedation because it's not as uncomfortable as a ventilator. Reduces risk of trauma to airways that might be caused by a ventilator. Reduces airway resistance to make breathing easier for patients. Yeah. Yeah, he definitely has a trait. Oxygen and life support are two different things. Right? That's what I was thinking. So that's what I was thinking. So, and I'm not a doctor here, and but I was thinking he's in a coma on a ventilator that is breathing for him. If they take that off and he just has supplemental oxygen through maybe his trach, then he is able to breathe on his own, but he needs assistance a little bit. They did more investigation on the DV call, constantly asking about her leg, or how did you break your foot? How did you break your foot? How did you break? I still think they should have said, did he break it? I mean, that's what a cop here would have been like, did your husband break your leg? I would think so. I think most cops would do that. Did your husband break your foot? Not leg, foot. The feeding tube is also life support. Yes, I've had both oxygen and given with oxygen, your blood is low. I'm a respiratory therapist. Hi, Lena. A trach is when the artificial airway. A trach is an artificial airway, therefore one can breathe on their own. A ventilator is used to optimize ventilation. You can be on a vent and breathe on your own, like a trach collar. Yeah, it's like right here, I think. Life support gives breath to your lungs. The whole situation is just terrible. It's sad. I've worked in a nursing home for 12 years. Surely, if we're thinking it's suspect, all these 911 calls, the actual, hopefully, you would think they would go back and be like, Carrie B, can you email me? I don't have a way to bring anybody up here, but I wish I could. I would have loved to bring Justin up on here and people that can answer questions about like the difference between a trach and life support. Is there an RN in the chat? Yeah. I think the call that mentioned civil something was maybe when they needed someone to keep things calm, like when Vaughn took his computer. A trach does not breathe for you. It's an opening to the trach. In the event he needs to be hooked up to the vent. Feeding tube can have fitted when walked around normal. Oh, the chat's moving too fast. Trachs are used for several different reasons. Yes. Yeah, she had a previous foot fracture from dancing. She admitted it. Just an excuse to get more viewers. This man is on day 57 or something of kratom and still has issues. Trach is good news. Y'all, his mom confirmed he 100% has a trach. Yes, his mom did confirm he 100% has a trach and he has supplemental oxygen hooked up to it, but it's not hooked to the vent. Having oxygen hooked up is different than a vent. Yeah. Someone close to me went without oxygen for 10 minutes and now living with disability. To discuss airways, you don't need an RN. You need a RRT, such as myself, or the one who responded earlier. Thank you, Mel C. The alkaline diet on top of the K is a bit of overkill and it's extreme. Exactly. I wonder if he's still on the alkaline diet. Oh, thank you, Destiny. Thank you. My biggest, I don't know how much pull Dre has, like in that town or wherever she was, because this is why I say that, because apparently they caught her trying to put onion soup into his feeding tube or some mess like that. You know what I'm saying? Or I think they said on a live stream. I'm sorry, you guys, my hair is crazy today, and I'm trying to get it out of the way, so I'll stop looking at it. But okay, so I've read different comments about this situation where they caught her trying to put onion soup in his feeding tube. I don't know if that's allowed. If I was a nurse and I walked in on a woman whose husband just attempted suicide, if I walked in on her trying to put something in his feeding tubes or anything, I would immediately think, oh my gosh, she's poisoning him. We got to get her out of here. Like, I would, like, especially if she didn't say, if she didn't talk to the nurse just to say, like, hey, he's on this diet that he's been on for X amount of time. Can you, is it possible that you guys could give him this and see what they say? She's just in there trying to do it. I would immediately, if I walked in on that, I would immediately think she is literally trying to poison this man. Right, tackle her. Bam, you're down. You know what I'm saying? Taking you out. You ain't about to kill this man. Why didn't the hospital call the police? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Why didn't the hospital call the police? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Coco wants to send his mama some money. Thank you, Sean. YouTube just took, thank you so much, Coco, for sending me money. YouTube just took 35% of that. Y'all should have sent it to the PayPal. I love you guys. But anyways, thank you so much, Coco. Absolutely not. You do not give patient anything, especially one in his condition. You could choke them. I've also never heard hospital allow outside food be brought in also. You're wrong. She was caught feeding him onion soup when he was in the hospital from seizures a year or so ago. This is how rumors get started. He wasn't in a coma then. I didn't say that. I said I heard. So I don't know if you're talking to me or someone in the chat, but I said I heard. I actually said that I heard. Well, I was gonna say, because I said I heard that she tried to, and then I was gonna say I also heard that she was on a live stream trying to do it, and someone called the hospital right then. Either way, I don't care when it was. If he's got a feeding tube and he's in the hospital, and you're trying to bring something in there to put through his what? Oh, thank you so much, my sweet Coco, for sending mommy money. Thank you. You cannot put liquid soup into a feeding tube. He could aspirate. So yeah, I don't care if it was this time, last time. If I was that nurse, if I was a nurse in that hospital, and I found out that this woman is literally trying to put onion soup or something, how do you know? How do you even know what's being put in there? You walk in and you see, down to the ground you go. Down to the ground you go. Andrea said in that report she wasn't coming back to Yuma. Yeah, I do remember it saying something about her being scared to come back. Why is she allowed to film him and bring stuff into his room? Right, Dre made the report like that to leave it to be open to speculation. That's what I thought too. Can you choke on a feeding tube? Hold on, can you choke on a feeding tube? Because I thought it, I don't know. Food would clog the tube, okay. If I'm ever in that condition, I want you to stay away from my feeding tube. 100%. Stay away from the feeding tube. Leave it to the professionals who know what the heck they're doing. I assume she was trying to get some K in there. We're talking about the same woman who spit on Von's face. So, and she tried to claim she didn't want people visiting him because of COVID, but then she's wiping her saliva on his face. She was on a live stream. She was looking for vegan supplement food, and she got it. I don't know what happened with it. Thank you, Sally. Yeah, I'm going to make it known now. I am not in the medical field. The only nurse, as far as my nursing degree goes, is in my house with my children. When they scrape their knee and I put a Band-Aid on it, or they got a cough and I give them something for that. Not a nurse. But at first I was like, okay, feeding tube. But okay, I'm not sure. You cannot get choked on a feeding tube. It's liquid that goes in there. But it could clog the tube, right? You can put liquid in there, but if it's anything that's kind of chunky, probably not. You don't aspirate through a properly placed feeding tube. Doesn't it go in your belly? Am I mistaken here? But my nephew, I'm pretty sure his feeding tube went through his belly. If you choke or have difficulty breathing during a feeding, stop and call your doctor right away. When you're done with the feeding, fill the food container with the amount of water the doctor prescribes. This provides fluids for you and flushes out the tube. How does feeding tube help with choking? If you're unable to eat or drink like you're used to, feeding tube can get you the nutrition you need and lower your chances of choking. Depending on your situation, the tube will run either through your nose or into your stomach or intestines. Aspiration is when something goes in through your lungs. So if it's through your belly, wouldn't it go straight into your stomach? Hey, Autistic Shield, we've been live for like an hour. Go through your nose. Nose or GI tube in the tummy. I'm really catching up. Depending on where it is placed, it can cause aspiration. Some can go through the nose. Okay. Either way, whether or not it could cause him to aspirate or not, I just think as a nurse, whenever it was, whether it was this time or last time, if I was a nurse and I walked in and I saw someone trying to put something in his feeding tube, I would tackle her to the ground. And I would immediately have her thrown out. You know, I wouldn't be questioning it. I would be like, oh my, what the heck do you think you're doing? You're not a doctor. Don't be messing with this. I'm Carrie. I commented in your chat about being a neuro ICU nurse. Thank you, Carrie. I'm gonna have to give you my number or something, and I can ask questions and do a different stream where we I would love to have people on that could answer these questions, but I don't know how to do it. Add a feeding tube in nose and belly. It's illegal to do it. So why are they not kicking her out of the hospital? Like, why are they not contacting the police on her? Already, we know through this situation, Dre has committed crimes. We know that she's went across the border. I don't know, because I also know, too, my nephew passed away. He was 2.5. At the time, we really didn't know what it was. Later, the doctor actually contacted my sister and said that they thought that it was COVID. He died December 3rd, 2019. He was in the hospital for 2 weeks. He was 2.5, but he was born very early, which resulted in him having many medical conditions. He had to have a feeding tube most of the time, actually all the time. He was blind, deaf. He had prosthetic eyeballs. He had a green pair and a green pair and a blue pair. He had cerebral palsy. He had lung condition. He had a lot of different things that was wrong with him. And then in December, he got really sick. Well, in November, he got really sick and was in the hospital for like 2 weeks, and we just didn't know what happened. We just didn't know what was going on. The doctors didn't really have answers as to what was happening. Let's watch this video really quickly. I think we watched this last night on Justin's channel as well, but somebody just sent me a video. We'll watch real quick. Whoops. Do a share screen. Hold on. Hold on, you guys. I'm going to try to share this with you guys. If I can. What is going on? Can't get it to pop up. That's weird. Why is it not popping up? No, it's not doing it. All right, I'm going to play it back and we'll see if we hear what she's saying. Did I freeze anybody else? Okay. Let me know if you guys can hear this.
We don't have time for stank coochie energy, okay? Yeah, I said it. So, anyways, and even if people subscribe and they come incorrect, they gone. All right, they gone. So, anyways, but I've been thinking about doing the stars anyways, because number one, most of you guys know, if you follow my jewelry page, that I broke my foot again. It's the same foot that I broke last time. I didn't even fall down. I just tripped. So the fact that that happened, number one, is annoying, really annoying, because it's very inconvenient for me. And it's like, last time that I broke my foot, I was in a very deep, dark depression, which also pisses me off whenever people like laugh. I mean, and just to.
Okay. So she said she broke it by tripping. She said she broke it by tripping, which I am not shocked because she be tripping all the time. That's why I stay tripping. Somebody sent me a video of Vaughn dancing too that I want to watch, but now I'm kind of concerned because let's get it over here. Surely I'll be able to play this. Okay, senior class, I can make sausage balls. Thank you. Yeah, something is definitely happening with my computer because it's not wanting to screen share. Sean, it was not letting me screen share. Ain't that wild? I stay having problems. If you guys are new to my channel, get used to it. Computer never wants to work for me. Here we go. I'm gonna have to mute the music though because can't be risk gonna strike you guys. All right, let's go. This is him when he was at a military ball about to boogie boogie. Okay, look at him go. I got it, babe. I got it, babe. I don't know what it was doing. I don't know. It was just lagging or something. I'm not sure. And it looks like she may have painted him to look like the silver guy, you know? To look like the Iron Man that hangs out in, there's one in New Orleans. I will tell you what it means to be doxxed in just a second. Yeah, absolutely. Baby, can you make mushrooms? Oh, I'm hungry. Oh, the Tin Man from the Wizard of Oz. Okay. See, honestly, when she was heavier set here, she was way prettier. And she didn't seem so like, I think doing everything the way that she did was just too much. And it made her kind of cuckoo. Like, I really do. Like, I think it was just too much. Instagram and Facebook. The links, I'll put them in the description box below. I turned the sound off to this video because I know there's music playing in the background. And I'm not playing the music because it can get me in trouble. Are you guys not hearing me? Y'all don't hear me? Okay, y'all hear us? Yeah, I'm purposely not playing the audio for that video because it's got music that have copyright. And if you get 3 strikes, your channel gets deleted. And sometimes these companies, a lot of times they'll give you a copyright claim, but if they copyright strike you, and I already have 1 strike. I already have 1 strike over a 1-minute video. Somebody struck my channel. So I can't risk it. I'm sorry, you guys. This is probably my favorite one because even with him, with his messed up knee, on that walker thing, he is still in such good spirits. He is still in such good spirits. Look at him. Getting it. Get it, boy. He's like, I'm going to be the grand finale. Oh, my bad. He looked really good when he was, like, when he started losing a lot of weight. I don't know how he thought it was, like, I just feel like he looked so much younger and better when he was, losing all the weight. They both look sickly, and I think it just messed with their minds. Addiction does bad things, exactly, to relationships, to people, to relationships. Oh, I thought he had knee surgery. Didn't he have knee surgery? Yeah, I definitely think she was a heavy influence on him. Oh. It's just sad, you guys. It's such a sad situation. And really the only spotlight needs to be on Vaughn, his family, helping his family see him, helping them get some sort of rights to where they can find out about his medical information so they can know. Like, I don't know if a doctor, when they go visit, if a doctor can answer their questions. I feel like a doctor, because Dre probably told them not to, So I don't feel like that's fair. And I feel like all this negative energy on, like, certain, like this one creator causing all these problems and now digging into backgrounds. It just is so disheartening. And, something, despite anything, despite what may be in Vaughn's dad's background, despite what may be in Vaughn's stepmom's background, Vaughn's real mom's background, despite what they've done, this is their loved one, that this is their son and stepson who they love, and out of nowhere, he's in this life or death situation. They have a right to see him. And someone is saying, oh, well, we saw the video where the dad showed up to see Vaughn and Dre wouldn't let him, but Dre had every right to not let him see Vaughn. What was that right? What was that right that she had not to let this man see his son? Because the hospital didn't agree. The hospital said, no, ma'am, he's going to see his son. This is his son. You don't make the rules for visitation. We do. And Vaughn's dad did not come to that hospital being irate. He did not come to that hospital being nasty to nobody. He come to that hospital desperate to see his son because he didn't know if his son was going to make it to the next morning. So he wanted to see his son. Okay, Vaughn's dad should tell the doctors not to give out his medical information, which I think is just ridiculous. Now, saying that, and then, digging into their background to see if they've been arrested, to see if they're on probation. I think that is bull to do that because it doesn't matter. You guys in the chat, I got 1,300 people in here. I wish I had 13,000 people. My goodness. But I got 1,300 people in here. You guys ask yourself, do you have a background? Did you suffer with addiction? Have you been arrested? What about your parents? Do you have a good friend that's been arrested and did some bad things when they were younger? How would you feel if this was you, that maybe when you were growing up, you went through addiction or you did some things you regret, you were on probation, and then this happens to your child? And then you have some YouTuber who decided to cover the story, but now because the parents won't speak to her, now all of a sudden she's going after you and making it out like you don't have a right to see your son because of your history? What? Excuse me? People have a past, and it does not mean that they can't see someone, their loved one, when something goes wrong. We do not see a trend with Dre and possibly malpractice at every medical facility they went. Do we not see a trend with Dre and yep, that's a good one. Probably. I was wrongfully arrested. Writing a bad check is different from a violent crime, and she was young, trying to figure out how to feed her family. Vaughn's dad's past has been brought out. Doesn't matter. That man's past shouldn't even be talked about. Anybody that's had first off, I know this YouTuber, you guys. I know her personally because she has attacked me. She has doxed me. She's paid for my background. She put my background information out there and then lied about it and twisted it, saying that I wasn't paying my bills and my car was about to be repossessed. This was when I had like 17,000 subs and was a nobody. I'm still a nobody with my little 60K. You know what I'm saying? Here's the deal. I know this YouTuber. Ever since I started my channel, she was the first one that gave me issues for no reason. Out of nowhere. Just attacked me. I have videos up about it that can explain what happened between me and this YouTuber. She's disgusting. She has doxed so many people, and this is her MO. I'm not even going to say her name, but this is this other YouTuber's MO. She latches onto a story, and whoever the victim is in the story, she tries to get in touch with their family or their friends to get the inside scoop. And she does this by telling them, I'm a journalist. I'm a reporter. I went to school for this. I'm a journalist. I'm a reporter. I got this platform. Let me share your story. And then if they say no and they go to someone else, like the Sophie Long story, Sophie Long went to this YouTuber called 10 to Life. When Sophie Long's dad went to 10 to Life, guess what this YouTuber started doing? She started attacking the victims. She called Sophie Long a brat. Said that she was a brat just acting. This girl was 9 years old saying that she was being sexually abused and physically abused. This 9-year-old was saying she was verbally and sexually abused. And Katie said, just seems like she was acting like a brat because she couldn't get her way. Now, mind you, this YouTuber wanted to talk to Sophie Long's dad. But when the dad went to 10 to Life, she turned. This is what she does. She's done this. She did this with the Duggar situation. She was talking to some people. She was talking to Amy Duggar and another person. When Amy Duggar and this other person decided, we're telling you stuff and you're twisting what we say and we're telling you stuff in confidence that then you're running back to your channel and you're telling everybody after we told you not to say these particular things. So we don't want to talk to you anymore because you're just not respecting what we ask you. You're running with everything. What does she do? She turns on Amy Duggar and she turns on this other person. I'm not going to name the other person, but she turned on the other person. Who else? It's been so many people that if you give her the story, she flips on you. She digs into your past. She digs into your background. She makes you, and let me tell you something. I know her so well. When she covers a story, anybody that's a part of that story, I'm almost positive. I would bet money she pulls everybody's background the second she finds out a story. Anybody in here? Let me do their background. I believe wholeheartedly she had this information. The second she jumped on a live with Molly and Justin, she knew about Von's dad's past. She knew about Von's mom's past, but they were working with her. So it was fine. It was fine then. They were working with her. It was fine. She wasn't going to blast their past. But the second they said, we're not working with you, then it was, oh, this is what they've done in their past. And to say that, well, look at Von's dad's history. So she has every right to be scared and not want him there. She didn't seem scared. Dre did not seem scared on that live stream when Von's dad came. She was singing, la, 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 la. If that was the reason, if Dre didn't want Von to see his dad because of his past and because she thought he'd be violent or she was scared of him, she would have said that. She would have said, hey, he has this past that I'm just not comfortable with, so I don't want him to see him. Why didn't she say that? That's not true. Right, if Von's parents didn't care, they wouldn't be traveling so far. They wouldn't have reached out to people to help them. No, first off, tits up. I don't know how long you followed Katie, but Katie doxed me several times. Katie's doxed. Go to Reddit. There's a reason why Katie had this YouTuber has, like, last time I saw it was like over 13,000 people that speak out against her. There's a reason why there's so many YouTube channels that speak out against her, because she goes after people just because she don't like them. It ain't a matter of they really done something wrong. And she's not a researcher, and she's not a reporter. She's not a reporter. She is a commentator. I'm a commentator. We do commentary. We're not reporters. She never went to school for it, and that's a slap in the face of real reporters, the people that really are reporters. She's not a reporter. She attacked Tati Westbrook. She lied on Tati Westbrook and Tati's husband. She literally told people that Tati Westbrook's husband had his mom on her deathbed sign everything over to this man. What's his name? James Westbrook. She just didn't like her. She just did not like her. She says, I'm covering her just because I can't stand her. Why don't you like her? And if you don't like her, move along. So then she pulled Tati's birth certificate. And then she had to tell everybody, Tati's not even a real name. Who cares? Who cares? The name you go by ain't actually your birth name either. And then she literally said that Tati's husband got his mom on her deathbed to sign everything over to him and then pull the plug. Pull the plug the day after, right after she got, which was not true at all. She had people convinced all kind of things about Tati that were not true. Tati was losing subscribers hand over fist because of stuff that she was putting out. Come to find out, wasn't true. When Tati sued this creator, it got dismissed over jurisdiction. And Tati was going to sue her where Katie lives. That's the only reason it was dismissed. Jurisdiction. That's it. And mind you, when this creator first started going after Tati, she was also going after Tati's business partner, Clark Swanson. There's videos of her talking about how terrible Clark Swanson is, how he ain't got no education. He went to this school. He's an idiot. But then guess what? Clark Swanson slides into this person's DMs. Then what's this person doing? Clark Swanson's great. Clark Swanson's this. And then she has all this information on Tati that Clark Swanson has given her. Clark Swanson was Tati's business partner who kind of flipped on Tati because Tati started doing other things like outside of their business together. Thank you so much. I know she is. And she has a past too. Y'all, she has a past. So does her husband. So you mean to tell me if something, God forbid, happened to her son, we should all jump up and bring up her past? No. Do you not know people that have a past and think if something happened to their child, then therefore, they don't have a right to see their child because of their past? That is ridiculous. Also, So they were going to sue her in her hometown. The only reason it got dropped was jurisdiction. That was it. It wasn't that they didn't have a case. They did. But guess what? When her lawyers, when Tati's lawyers went to Minnesota, guess what? They said, we're going to sue you here. You know what happened? She said, what do you want to not sue me? They said, we need your source. Who's your source? Where are you getting all this information from? Clark Swanson, here it is. Silver platter. Here he goes. Then you know what she did? She jumped on her channel, apologized to Tati, and said, I was given false information. Clark Swanson, my source, you don't throw your sources under the bus. And she did the same thing before that with a story with a non sequitur channel. She got false information, attacked this man on false information. Then when she found out her information was false, she jumps on her channel. I'm sorry I attacked him and said that he was committing medical fraud. I was given false information. My bad. And this is who gave me the information. Here's my source. When I started my channel, she came after me because someone told her about one of my videos. She didn't watch it. I got emails, even on stream, even on her channel. She said she never watched me. She didn't watch my video, but she had a problem with it. Then she lied. She jumped on her channel saying that I made a video mocking a mental ill man. And that she also said I picked on her son for being autistic, which was a lie because I have a son that's autistic. She gave out so much false information. Then she paid for my financial information and twisted it, saying that I wasn't paying my bills. She's done so much. I can promise you guys. Thank you. If you are just now following her, please do your research. Watch Without a Crystal Ball. Watch WOACB VS versus WOACB. It tells you, it shows you her lies. It's nobody else. That channel shows nothing else besides her videos beside each other, because it shows her saying one thing and then something completely different. I don't know who that is. Tits up. I don't know. If I know somebody like that acts that way, that goes after people, that's an issue. You can buy subs. Yes, you can buy subs. Okay, I don't know who that is. I got a lot of people in my chat today that I've never known. Even criminals get a choice between hospital visits. Have you ever known of a hospital when you go in to see your loved one, them saying, let me pull your record real quick? No, because it doesn't matter. Thank you, Crystal Sears. Thank you. The very first video I saw of you was when you said you were back, and this is the real story. Yeah. Yes, she did. She asked for the money back. And let me tell you guys, I've been on YouTube since March of 2019. August 2019, my whole world flipped upside down when this creator come after me. And I made the sad mistake of responding. The only way that I responded was I sat down and I said, this is what she said about me, and it's untrue. This is the truth. Here, and I showed what she said about me. Oh my goodness. Since then, it was craziness. You know what I'm saying? She's asked for her donation back. If this is really just about putting out both sides, I don't understand how them having a past is a side. What's that doesn't give them the right to see their son, who literally at any moment could be gone. At any moment could be gone. I don't care if they haven't sexually abused someone, if they're not a child rapist or a mass murderer, then, I think they have a right to see their son. We literally saw videos of Vaughn happy about the fact that he was reconnecting with his family. He was happy about that. He wanted to see them. He wanted to have that relationship. Just go look at what she's done. If you follow her and you're new or you followed her for like 6 months, she attacks her subscribers. She attacked a woman that lost their child. When my nephew passed away and people were giving us sympathy, you know what she said? What about me? We have that. What about me? What about you? What about you? My 2.5-year-old nephew just passed away. My sister's son just passed away. And when there was a live stream going on, and people were giving us sympathy, like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad for what they're going through right now. She literally said, what about me? And when she was told that my nephew passed away, what did she say? Well, that's too bad. When she was told about my nephew's passing, well, that's too bad. Then when I was falsely arrested, guess who brought it to this platform to tell everybody about it? She did. With a lot of assumptions about what went down that was so far off. Completely far off. Dre even said herself, she is very dangerous. Yep, Dre has a past as well. Dre herself has a past. I mean, there's literally videos of her swinging a knife. So should she not see her son? When Raza grows up, with everything that's happened with Dre's life right now, she didn't pay her bills allegedly. She has a ex-husband. She's falsely, from my understanding, falsely accused people of things. She's on live streams talking about how dangerous she is. Mother sucker, mother trucker, whatever, slinging knives around. Knives laying out where Raza at the time was like 3 years old. Raza was like right here. And she grabs a knife. Bam! Right here. Bah, 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 bah. And I'm like, was that knife literally just laying there? Which she says she leaves a knife in every room. So you mean you leaving these big old butcher knives out for little Raza to get? Like, what about her? So does that mean... I know, and nobody's going to convince me of that. Nobody's going to tell me that just because them people have a past, they don't deserve to see their kids. And let me tell you, the only reason she's doing that, there is one reason and one reason alone why she's doing that. It ain't because now she sees their past anything. I can guarantee you when she jumped on the stream with Molly and Justin, she already had their past, because that's what she does. When she starts covering her story, she digs up everybody's background that's connected to the story. And the only time she uses it against them is if they make her mad. If you don't make her mad and you're giving her information, you're all good to go. Let me tell you about it, okay? Because Josh Duggar, who's in jail for CP, child pornography, receiving child pornography, Josh Duggar was accusing this other guy of doing it, Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams was arrested for, I think it was like rape. I think he was arrested. So Caleb Williams was like older. He got this young girl pregnant, got her pregnant, and then filed for custody of the baby. Got her pregnant, right? He was charged with raping this girl. Well, after Josh Duggar was arrested and found guilty, they started saying it was Caleb that was looking at the CP because Caleb worked for him. So Caleb had to come out and say, it wasn't me. I was nowhere. I was out of town the days that the CP was looked at on his computer. It wasn't me. Guess who she had on her channel? Mrs. I'm a victim's advocate. I'm for the children. Josh Duggar deserves death because of what he did to those, to his sisters, and looking at CP. She brought Caleb Williams on her stream. The man who literally, as an adult, impregnated like a 15-year-old, got arrested for it, filed for full custody of this child. And then when people called her out, like, wow, okay, like, wow, you've called Josh out for what he's done. He didn't impregnate a teenager. Now you're having this guy on your channel. Like, this is a little hypocritical. You know what I'm saying? You want to know why she had him on? Because it was good for clicks and views. It was good for clicks and views to have the man on her panel that Josh Duggar was accusing. The man that they were accusing of being the one that looked at the CP, she brought him on. She got called out. She got called out a lot. Like, you're really going to have him on here? What about his past? She was fine with his past, and she knew about his past. She even defended it on the stream. She goes, I know he has a past, and he's been arrested, and we've talked about that, but that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about the fact that Josh Duggar is trying to accuse him of being the one to look at the CP that day. So tell me why Von's mom, dad, stepmom, brother, sister, whoever, their past matters when it comes to them wanting to see Von before he could possibly die. Keeping our fingers crossed and praying to God he don't. But at the time, they didn't know. They had no idea if this man would make it the next daggone day. But their past matters. But Caleb Williams' past didn't matter when he literally impregnated a kid. And that's what she stands against so much. And the way she's putting out messages between them. This is a family that's grieving, that's going through a lot. I'm telling you guys, the only reason she did this is because the family refused to talk to her. And I can also tell you guys, because I tried to be friends with her a number of times. The reason they probably stopped, the same reason everybody stops, when people go to Katie with their stories, when people go to her with their stories, usually a lot of times people just kind of release the gates and like they talk a lot. But they'll say, please don't say this. Like, you can say this, but don't say that. And guess what? She'll get on her channel and she'll say it all. She'll say whatever she wants to say. It doesn't matter if they ask her not to. She'll say and that's why a lot of people stop. That's why a lot of people say, okay, we don't want to go to you anymore because, you know, we've asked you not to share things that you've shared. We've told you things in private that you put out that you shouldn't have. Yeah, if anybody, let me tell you guys, you know how many people I've had come to me saying I was a supporter of her? I was a moderator for her. You know how many moderators she's lost? Every one of them except one. And rumor has it that one has to take a break every couple of weeks because they just drove crazy with her. And the one reason that moderator don't leave her is because KJ has information on her that would cause her divorce. That's what I was told. I was told the one reason that one moderator has still remained with her is because Katie knows too much on her. But every few weeks, she takes a break. She's not seen on the channel anywhere. And then she'll come back, and she's all supportive, and she tries to act like she's good. Every mod, she's lost. Elle Bee, you've been so classy and quiet for a long time. May you find all the redemption you so deserve. Thank you so much. Thank you. Gotcha, babe. But anyways, I'm just saying, I'm just irritated that the family is they're going through enough with a real life issue. They have a real life issue going on. They have a loved one that may not wake up in the morning. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen with Vaughn. And everybody has been praying so hard for them. They reached out to social media. They reached out to YouTubers. Thank God for Justin and Molly, who's put this on the map. People have reached out to news outlets to really try to get this out there. And the reason they had to do this is because they wanted to see their son. They didn't know. They didn't find out that Vaughn was in the hospital until they saw it on live streams, Dre's live streams. You mean to tell me they are such bad people? They didn't deserve a phone call to say, hey, before you see this on social media, I'm just letting you know, the baby that you carried in your belly for 9 months, him that you gave birth to, yeah, he's in a coma. They didn't even deserve that. No, it's BS to me. And I think anybody that has given this family a hard time, I think it's disgusting. I think it's disgusting to ask for your refund back, to ask for a refund for the money that you donated to them, because it shows absolute class that Letitia sent that money back. She didn't have to. Miss Letitia did not have to send that money back. And if it would have been me, I probably wouldn't have. I probably would have like, nope, sure not. She didn't have to, but she did. How bad of a woman is she? How bad of a woman is she? I'm going to judge her based off her character of what I see from her right now. She wrote a hot check when she was 19. That's Miss Letitia, you guys. It was a hot check when she was like years ago, and it was for groceries for her kid. So she don't deserve to see her son? That's what you're telling me? Vaughn's dad's passed, whatever it was. I don't care. I don't care. Yeah, if you like her, good. Talk to me in 8 months. Talk to me in a year. Talk to me when you see her attack you. Because she attacks her subscribers really bad. When a woman comes in there saying, I sympathize with you because I went through the same thing with my child. I'm so sorry. I'm praying for you. And she says, this isn't about you. I don't care that you lost your daughter. Stop making this about you, because that's what happened to one of her subscribers that lost her daughter and tried to be sympathetic to what she was going through, saying, I know what you went through. I'm so sorry. I've been there. I've been in that position. I don't care. Stop making this about you. Oh my God, chat. I'm turning the chat off because everybody's telling her that you're sorry. This isn't about her. Do your research on her. That's all I'm saying. Do your research. She's not a good person. These people deserve all the love, support they can get. You guys, please. We just gotta, I didn't even want to do this today. I had a few little things I was gonna say, and that was gonna be it. One of the main things was that if Dre was worried when the father showed up at the hospital, if she was worried about his past, because my thing, an arrest doesn't mean that you're guilty, because I was arrested, wasn't guilty. Thank you, Babs Bunny. Thank you so much. Exactly. If my kids, yeah, if she was concerned about him being violent, why didn't she say that right then? Well, I'm concerned about. You mean to tell me she thought he was going to be violent in there with his son, with her, when he showed no reason to believe that. There was no reason for her to believe that he showed up desperate. Please let me see my son. I've drove 3,000 miles. He wasn't irate with her. And she did. That's not what she was scared of. Don't let nobody fool you. Don't let nobody lie to you that she was concerned about his past, because she didn't say one word about it. She didn't say, well, in the past, he did X, Y, Z, so I'm just concerned. It's about control with Dre. It's about control. That's it, Dre. It's not about these people's past. It's about her being in control. Thank you, D Hunter, so much. Thank you. Yeah, you could hear the hurt in his voice. You could. If you know, my thing is if that other creator has such an issue, just leave the story alone. Leave it alone. Go back to, reality television. Go back to talking about the Duggars. Drop it. Don't continue to attack this family. Don't do that. There was something else that I wanted to talk about. Oh, Miss Letitia had told the other creator something about how she carries a weapon with her. And that's not against the law. That can't be made into a bad thing. Plenty of people carry. My husband has a gun in his truck almost all the time. That's not a bad thing. And Miss Letitia saying something about, if I can't see my son, they might need to call the cops on me or something. I'd be the same way. If my son was in the hospital and his wife was telling me I couldn't come in, well, you better call the cops because mom was coming. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, you guys. Oh, thank you, Autistic Shield. I met KJ the day EKC did it 2018 before you to ask for help. The day that she accepted, I felt I had to add her a few hours later. She had blocked at least 3 people in a small group of 70 the first day. Yeah. Yeah, weapons aren't illegal here. You can carry a weapon with you. To conceal your weapon, you have to have like a license. Um, but yeah, you can. My husband has. My husband's military, so he has several weapons, and it's not. I just feel like you really put yourself in the mother's position. If you were the mother and people were taking your comments and twisting it this way, um, yeah, there's just no reason to demonize this family. They didn't ask for this to happen. You know, it's like, what? She's presenting two sides of the story. What? Did they have a past? What's that got to do with the fact that their son is in a coma and they want to see him? It's not, this isn't a story. It's not two sides of a story. What do you mean? It would be different if there was really something that this isn't a story. It would be so different if this was this person against this person. This is Vaughn laying in a hospital, his family just wanting to see him. And unfortunately, Dre is right here putting a stop to that. They're not trying to go after Dre. That's been kind of us creators calling her out. That wasn't Miss Letitia or Von's dad or Von's stepmom. They just said this is what it is. We want to see him. She's not letting us. And then everybody started looking into her live streams that she put out there. She's a public person. They're not. And we started commenting on it. It's not them trashing her. Miss Letitia actually thanked her. Miss Letitia actually said, Dre, whatever our past is that we have together, I'm putting that aside. Thank you for letting me see my son. So Letitia and Von's dad, Miss Juanette, they're not attacking her. So what sides is it? You know? The parents' past is completely irrelevant. Exactly. The parents have asked for the opposite and to pray for Dre too. Exactly. Carrie B, I think there's way more to the story, and Dre is worried that if Vaughn wakes up while the family is there, she will be screwed. Not saying Dre did anything to Vaughn, but there's definitely more to the story. Yeah, I think there's definitely more to the story as well. I do as well. You guys have no idea. Back when she used to attack me, back when this particular YouTuber used to attack me, how many people believed her? Because she's very convincing. That other YouTuber can be very convincing. She can say things in a way to make them sound like they make sense, where you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I get you. You guys have no idea how many people believed her when it came to me about my arrest, about my bills, my background. People believed her. And then when it came out that she was lying and that nothing that she said was true, all these people come back to me saying, I'm so sorry, I believed her. I believed her. I followed her. If you followed that other YouTuber, if you followed her and then quit because of her actions and the way she treated people, put a 1 in the chat. Karen Bluebird. They are private citizens, not public figures. What she did is illegal. She needs to be deplatformed immediately. Much love to you. Exactly. What she did was illegal. When you use certain websites like Pacer to get people's financial information, you sign a thing saying that you're not going to make it public, that you're not going to use it in a malicious way to harass them or to make them to embarrass them. But that's exactly what she did to me. She tried to embarrass me by saying that I wasn't paying my bills. But anyways, you guys, thank you all so much. I really just don't want, okay, thank you everyone in the chat that is putting your 1 in there, because most of you guys were followers of her. It's shocking me how many are so negative about Letitia. There's no reason for it. It's simple. She's a mom who wants to spend time with her own well son. Nothing will get in the way of that, get in the way of my opinion. Exactly. Exactly. She has a past. Her and her husband have a past. So does that mean if something happens to her son, they shouldn't be allowed in there? Tits up. She has a past. Trust me. She posted it on her Facebook. Thank you so much. Thank you. Marcy Williams. Hey, Marcy Williams. Bonnie, you aren't missing nothing. Thank you, Megan. Well, she has multiple lawsuits against her right now. And, you know. Look, their political stance shouldn't matter when it comes to them seeing their son. In my opinion, that's what causes the division. If you are a Democrat and you're saying, well, this family over here, their son is in a coma, but they're Republican and they tow guns, and that's their right. We have a right to choose if we want to be Democrat, Republican, whatever. That's our right to choose, and it's our right to bear arms. So who cares? Wanting 12-year-olds to have guns, that's what she's trying to say. I never seen any proof of that, and I'm not going to believe her word for that. Oh my gosh, my light bill was so high. So high. She's very convincing and very conniving, exactly. I mean, she literally said, well, I paid for her financial records, and this is what they say. Why would people think that she's lying about it? But she was. People also need to know the difference with being charged versus being convicted. Just because you were charged with something doesn't mean anything. Charges get withdrawn daily. Cops get things wrong. I was falsely arrested. I had freaking chalk. I have 6 kids. An empty bag of chalk was left in my car. Cops said it was cocaine. Guess who jumped on their YouTube channel to say I'm a drug addict? The one and only. Oh, I know, Tiana, I know. The right to bear arms. Pew, pew, pew. They don't ask for your political stance. They don't ask your criminal record because it doesn't matter when it comes to your loved ones laying in the hospital. She asked for the money back, yeah. She's a Democrat. She's a liberal, which that's fine. I'm a Democrat and I own a gun. Exactly. A lot of people believe that, Misty. Even the lawyers asked if it was possible that she did. I know they are. That's the crazy thing is they are registered Republicans, but she, you know, goes off on Republicans. Yeah, please don't talk about getting the channel shut down in the chat because she will literally use that against me. I'm not saying, there are terms of services. YouTube, every platform has terms of service. You read them, and if people violate them, you have the right to report people. But, that's as far as I'm going to say. Exactly, Marlena. Thank you, Selena. Try to get along with everyone. However, my sister, another story, but I still love my family. Exactly. Still love your family. Pretty in a word. I like Mean Girls in high school. Anyone can sue anyone. What matters is if what she's saying was true. Time will tell. Well, anyone can sue anyone, but the only reason the Tati Westbrook case didn't happen again in her where she lived is because she gave her source. If you think she's such a good reporter, what do you think about her giving her sources up? Because she does that all the time. She gives her sources up all the time. In the Todd Chrisley lawsuit, the reason they're suing her is because she claimed that someone in their production team called her or emailed her or something and said XYZ about Todd and Lindsay and that whole situation. And then in this lawsuit, they're like, well, who is it? Who is it? Oh, I didn't verify it. She straight up says, I don't know who this person was. I didn't verify it. But you sure did jump on your channel saying, oh my God, a person that works for Todd and Julia Chrisley's TV show, they contacted me and said XYZ about Todd and Julie and Lindsay. You put it out there, stated it as facts. That someone that works on their show, that works in production, got in touch with you and said XYZ. You didn't tell all your people that you didn't verify this. And now with the lawsuit going on, when Todd's attorneys saying we need discovery. We need to see proof of that call or proof of that email. How did you even verify that they were somebody with production? Oh, I didn't verify it, and I don't know their name. I don't remember how they contacted me. You want to know why she don't know their name or how they contacted her? Because they didn't. Nobody in production called her or contacted her. If they would have, she would have some sort of phone record. How did they get her number? She would have it for them to even get her number. There would have to be a paper trail. They would have had to email her, hit her up on social media. Hey, I'm so and so. I work in production. I got something I need to tell you. Can I get your phone number? She would have some sort of proof. But that's not the first time. It wouldn't be the first time that she said she had a source that she really didn't have. So I'm not so sure about the Todd Chrisley lawsuit. I think that's kind of BS. But this 7M lawsuit, private citizen. She contacted and got jobs taken from them. She got jobs taken from that. She said they were human trafficking. All kind of stuff. The 7M, there's lawyers that cover that case, and they all say that's a good one. I'm a Democrat, always happy, and really thinking about getting some protection. I have to get up and out the door at 3 a.m. in the day. Exactly. Thank you, guys. Yeah, Molly's not mad at me. If Molly was mad at me, I'm sure she would message me. But anyways, you guys, I really just wanted to hop on here, go over that report, because there was 25 calls made. 16 of them is Dre McCray. Not one call from Vaughn, even though she refused. She took his phone from him at one point. He wasn't even allowed to have a phone. He wasn't allowed to have money. He wasn't allowed to have friends. His friends couldn't come to their house. His family couldn't come to their house. But he never reached out to the cops. He never made any of those calls. Yes, Dash, I remember that. Yeah, Molly's probably sleeping, exactly. But you guys, I'm just saying, I'm not happy with the attacks on the family. I feel like it's not coming from a place of really trying to do research or put out both sides. I just feel like it's coming from a bad place. And I just want you guys to be cautious of that. My dad is an ex-felon with an extensive criminal past, but I would never want him to deny me. I would never want anyone to deny him access to me. Exactly. I know exactly. I know someone that literally is in jail for attempted murder, and if his child was in a coma, I'm sure they would probably call him and say, "Hey, your child's in a coma. You need to, Would that mean the family would be like, and we don't know the information into that. Like the guy that's in jail for attempted murder, he was beat to a bloody pulp by 6 men, jumped, cinder blocks to his face. He jumped in his truck to get away, gassed it, accidentally ran over one of the guys. Sitting in jail. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just don't know. Even with what those charges may be, we don't know what caused them or what led to them or the information with them. We just don't know, So I'm just asking everyone, please take it easy on the family. Just put yourself in their position. How you would feel if this was your child and someone was keeping you from your child. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get off here. I really didn't want to turn it into like this thing, because I want to stay away from that. I also want to stay away from talking about other creators because I don't want this drama. I don't want drama between me and anyone else. But I do feel like I need to speak up for Vaughn. And I was honestly, like I said, I was not planning on getting here and saying hardly anything like I did. I just had a few things I was gonna say, and then I kind of went a little too far into it. But you guys, I don't know. Just pray for Vaughn. Pray for his family. I know his family is so upset. His family is super upset over what's going on right now, and they shouldn't have to worry about that on top of losing their son. But yeah, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and jump off. My husband got to cut the grass. I'm not sure if Molly's going live later, but if she is, I'll probably be in the chat or something. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. If you don't mind, give this video a thumbs up. We're going to be talking more about this whole story. It's mainly on Molly and Justice for All Justice channel, but I still will be, covering some of the stuff over here as well. But you guys go check their channel out. Give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Go subscribe to their channel if you want to keep up with the story about Von McCray. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye, everyone.